President Tinubu approves historic 683 billion naira intervention fund for public tertiary education. Oh boy, the Ministry of Education is going to have this now to manage. Again, this money has been approved. Will EFCC please go behind this Ministry of Education to ensure that this money is judiciously spent? Because these people, even the permanent secretary there and even the minister in that ministry need to be followed closely, looking at what is happening in the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and the one that is probably going to come back later into Ministry of Interior against Tujojo, because I'm sure with Nigeria's clamoring that he also should be investigated, and with what the Jade Andrew has written, that almost all the ministers in this Tinubu's administration have moved money into a private account. This money that Tinubu has approved for the Ministry of Education should be properly checked. I tell you, I think if I were Tinubu, I will ask EFCC to follow up with this ministry to see how the money is disbursed and to be sure that it is disbursed according to plans and schedules. In a groundbreaking move to bolster Nigeria's public tertiary education system, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has given the green light to a monumental 683 billion naira intervention fund. This unprecedented financial injection is set to revolutionize the educational landscape in universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education across the country. Oh boy. So on January 12th, Sonny Echono, the Executive Secretary of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TET Fund, made the announcement during a strategic planning session with leaders of beneficiary institutions in Abuja. Echono revealed the allocation details with universities set to receive. Okay. 1,906,944,930 naira. That is about 1.9 billion each for polytechnics, 165 million each for college of education, and 1.4 billion each for 1.4 billion each for colleges of education. Okay. Now wow. Polytechnics will be what? 1.16 billion. Universities will receive 1.9 billion. Now wow. So this allocation marks a significant increase from last year's 320 billion and is a statement to President Tinubu's commitment to nurturing the next generation of leaders and professionals in Nigeria. So the substantial funding is expected to bring about significant improvement in infrastructure, learning resources, and overall quality of education in public tertiary institutions. Echono expressed gratitude for the remarkable successes, attributing it to sustained effort in expanding and improving the efficiency of collecting the education tax. He also acknowledged President Tinubu's gracious approval for an increase in the tax from 2.5% to 3.0% in 2023. So the allocation breakdown indicates that the university's intervention cycle for 2024 will include a total sum of 1.9 million, for universities, and then comprising 1.9 billion, is for universities, 1.66 billion as annual direct disbursement and 250 million as zonal intervention. Similarly, each polytechnic and college of education will receive 1.165 billion naira and 1.398 billion naira respectively. So with specific allocations for annual direct disbursement and zonal interventions. So President Tinubu's approval of the 683 billion billion naira intervention fund for public tertiary education marks a turning point in Nigeria's education history. And so the substantial financial support is poised to elevate the quality of education and pave the way for a brighter future for students and the nation as a whole. So now that this money has been approved, 683 billion naira has been approved, the money that they are owing ASU, will this money take care of it? Because I'm sure if they pay ASU all that are owing them to date, everybody will go back to classes and the school will start booming again. And everybody will go to school relaxed and the atmosphere of learning will improve. Okay, so and then the learning facility, the resources. Okay, because when you go to some college of education, some polytechnics, they are like mushroom secondary schools. When you go to some universities, you fear your head. You understand? Especially federal universities, you fear your head. So I don't know how. I tell you, I don't know how they can, you know, disburse this fund or allocate this fund in such a way that all of these decayed infrastructures are put back. And that is another problem I have. Everybody will ask for autonomy. The VC or whoever he is should have autonomy, should have power to spend the money. But everybody is corrupt in Nigeria. Once the money gets into their hand, the first thing is what they take out. Now we are blaming Betaidu, we are blaming permanent secretaries, we are blaming people, but even the ones that are going to manage the money at lower level, we also look for a way to take their own. So what are we going to do differently to ensure that there is sanity in the way we spend money in our ministries and parastatals in Nigeria, the way civil servants and the way public office holders spend government money allocated for projects, allocated for purposes, because that is the problem. Now, Tinubu has approved this whopping 683 billion, and then they have tried to break it down on how it will go to each of the institutions. But at the institutions level, who is going to monitor the VCs, the provosts, the principals, and whoever that's going to run the project for the school to monitor how the money is being spent? Because Nigerians are very good in inflating figures, inflating numbers, supported by the accountants, supported by the financial directors, supported by key persons that are going to help to generate reports and accounting reports. Now, wow. So the problem of Nigeria is not the money, it's how the money is spent. That is true. Because if our money is spent judiciously for the purposes that they are meant for, Nigeria will be a better place and everything will work fine. So again, thanks to Tinubu for approving this money. But again, who is going to follow up to monitor and be sure that the money is spent judiciously? That we don't know yet. That we truly don't know. Okay. Now there are a few comments here. Somebody is saying here, I hope the generation of Satan will not loot the fund. That is what I'm saying. Someone say, great, this is good news. Yes. Please, primary and secondary schools should not be left unattended to. Teachers are neglected. The products going to that tertiary institutions are coming from the secondary schools. Okay, we'll be in shambles, so it is just a matter of time. Teachers are really suffering at the elementary level. May God have mercy on teaching profession in Nigeria. It will not be true for obituary people because nothing good comes from Tinubu except Obi. Can you imagine? Why are you turning this into tribe? Why are you turning this into tribe? We're talking about how things can work. We're turning to tribe. Now the head of tertiary institutions will now be preparing to do kill and divide. Exactly. That is what I'm saying. The heads of these tertiary institutions will be the ones now to start planning how to kill and divide and get their own. Good news, right on, our president. Good, God is behind you. Okay, too soon to tell. Approval is one thing, release and implementation is another thing. A holistic policy approach is still an imperative. Tinubu administration is making headway in education by creating a congenial atmosphere for education to thrive in Nigeria. Okay, interesting. If true, we verify that. But the truth of the matter is, how will this money be spent? That's our concern. So thank you for listening, and let's have your comments.